Show, Rumble show, man, Rumble. Third term loading, fourth term loading. Because we're doing a very good job. A very good job. But you see who's not doing a good job is Mark Golding and his mouth. I mean, until we, just the other day that him never eat no food off of Finsac. Him have nothing to do with Finsac. And regardless of the tons of evidence, you know, that is out there, he basically denied it. So there's a lot of persons that come and assure the Jamaican people them say, yo, Marky J, you name a food, man. You eat sitting off of Finsac. Yeah, in fact, you name a big piece of pie. A solid piece of pie, probably like 3/4 it. You know? And this is Cliff Hughes. You know, basically outlining it. Stating it as it is to Mr. Mark Golding. And just like Nathan Campbell said, every liar is a thief. And me sister Nathan Campbell sister, so don't come for me. Just watch this, guys.
And from that, the issue of the politics can't escape the politics now, especially on a Monday morning. The campaign is intensifying. How many times have I said that now over the last several weeks? Yeah, and yesterday was no different. The weekend was no different. And one of the talking points coming out of the weekend, that boo-boo by the opposition leader in not providing any costing for his several proposals attracted the attention again of the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister, in addressing the Manchester Chamber of Commerce, said the development of Jamaica cannot be made on empty promises. Obviously swiping at Mr. Golding. Here's what the Prime Minister said.
In our last budget, several proposals were made, and the Minister of Finance costed it and showed that those promises didn't make sense, couldn't be financed, would wreck the budget. The development of this country cannot be made on empty promises. Can't come to Parliament and make promises, and then when tackled, you get up and say, it was not my intention that these would be implemented. In effect, empty promise.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness, yes? Well, but addressing the Chamber of Commerce, Holness said the days of Jamaica's economy being compromised by short-term instant gratification, those days are over.
Our electorate has never really asked our politicians to price or cost the promises that they make. Because we want the satisfaction now, we accept anything that is told to us. For too long, our electorate has been misled and our political economy has focused on the wrong things. For the first time, you have a government that has delivered 10 budgets of stability. We have presented budgets to you without ever running with anything. That is a significant transformation in Jamaica. But more than that, we are presenting a budget in an election year, and it is a balanced budget.
Well, the Prime Minister also commended the police for their recent successes in seizing illegal guns and ammunition.
In the last 4 weeks, we have had several major seizures of weapons and other contraband coming into our formal ports. All the people who are importing guns into Jamaica, whether you live here or cooperate with criminals abroad, you have no hiding place. Jamaica has invested heavily in improving the sophistication of our security apparatus. And that sophistication is not only in the purchase of equipment, in the training of our officers, but also in building strong diplomatic country-to-country relationships that will help us to undermine the criminal networks that exist across borders.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Well, the police, no doubt, have been enjoying some successes in recent times that are reassuring. Yeah, murders down by more than 30%. And a couple of days ago, they seized 1,700 pounds of cocaine. Yeah, no, or let me get this right, they have seized 1,700 pounds of cocaine during operation since the start of the year. The latest bust was at a seaport in Kingston on Wednesday. According to the police, more than 1,000 pounds of cocaine was seized during a joint operation conducted by the Jamaica Customs Agency and the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division. The cocaine, listen to this, the cocaine was disguised as Cuban honey. Yeah. And the estimated street value of the coke, $3.1 billion. $3.1 billion. That's a lot of cocaine. And it follows a recent gun find at a warehouse on Marcus Garvey Drive in Kingston in March. In that instance, 30 firearms and more than 100 rounds of ammunition were seized. Wow. Time for the break. The senators debated the appropriations bill. In other words, the budget bill. And there were several presentations made. But there's one that is causing a lot of angst and generating a lot of discussion. That was from the government Senator Abka Fitzhenley. Mr. Fitzhenley went after the opposition leader frontally and brutally. And Fitzhenley is emerging as one of the attack, quote-unquote, dogs of the government. You know, when they say you're an attack dog, you are the lead. It's not a pejorative term, by the way. Yeah. And Mr. Golding last week, while under pressure, declared that he had nothing to do with Finsac, which I recall when I heard him, I said, Mark, don't think that some of us were around in the 1990s. He has forgotten that some of us were around. A lot of Jamaicans were not around. The population of Jamaica, the number of people 30 and under, yeah, makes up the majority of Jamaicans alive today. And Fitzhenley went after him in the Senate, said he was not speaking the truth when he said that. Yes? Here's Shalois Michael's report on it.
The Finsac era refers to the near collapse of Jamaica's financial system in the 1990s. During his recent contribution to the budget debate, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness hinted that members of the opposition benefited from favorable deals linked to Finsac through investment bank Daring Bunting and Golding DBNG. Golding was a partner in DBNG. But according to the opposition leader, he had no role in Finsac whatsoever. Mr. Golding says he was an ordinary businessman who at the time had to navigate a difficult situation like any other. But Senator Fitzhenley says this is not true.
He said he came into the PNP via Dr. Omar Davies, where he gave advice regarding the financial sector. Of course, Dr. Davies was the finance minister in the 1990s. During the meltdown of the financial sector, I put it to you, sir, that it is highly improbable that the opposition leader was not consulted on those issues of the day. And therefore, I submit to the Parliament of Jamaica and the people of Jamaica that when the opposition leader says he had nothing to do with the Finsac, no part to play, he should not be believed. In fact, the public record suggests he did not speak the truth.
Senator Fitzhenley says the public record shows that payments were made to DBNG during the Finsac era.
Deals were entered into which the anti-corruption agency of the day described as irregular and highly improper, and arising from those deals, public funds millions of US dollars, millions of Jamaican taxpayer money were shelled out and used to line the pockets of a company owned by Peter Bunting and Mark Golding, two men who now aspire to lead Jamaica. The Gleaner says these developments occurred after a hectic year for DB&G, which saw Peter Bunting and attorney Mark Golding playing a prominent part in the company's operations.
Senator Fitzhenley continued.
In one such payment, PNP administration via the finance ministry had an obligation to pay Daring, Bunting and Golding over $29.5 million US dollars. Finsac paid approximately $10 million US dollars to Bunting and Golding's company, and the debt management department of the Ministry of Finance paid the balance of US $20 million. In another instance, the Financial Gleaner of December 5, 1997 tells us that Bunting and Golding's entity abandoned plans for a merger and took full control of Billy Craig Merchant Bank, which is badly affected by the PNP policies of the 1990s. And guess what happened after Senator Seaver, right? Finsac, which was set up by Golding's political allies, pumped $85 million of taxpayers' money into the bank, which was taken over by Bunting and Golding's company.
Senator Fitzhenley says the evidence proves that Golding is not fit to lead the nation.
What I just alluded to are two pieces of evidence which confirm that the opposition leader's claim that he had nothing to do with the Finsac is false. Indeed, he misled the people of Jamaica. His latest comment is confirmation that he cannot be trusted to be honest with the Jamaican people.
Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Cliff Hughes, the senator, on his feet in the Senate last Friday, and praise for more of this, as the campaign gathers steam. The two political parties now are focused on winning hearts and minds votes, and now is a time when leaders are going to be tested, and Mr. Golding is under intense scrutiny now, and he has demonstrated a propensity to be loose with the facts, and when he does that, he's opening himself up to this line of attack. He needs to be more prudent and careful in his choice of words. Like when he went to Connecticut some weeks ago, and falsely declared that the JLP had bought out the media in Jamaica. Careless. When he's going to declare he had nothing to do with Finsac whatsoever. And people like myself who were around at the time, know very well of DB&G's association with the Finsac debacle. It's just not going to fly in today's world. On Friday, the Prime Minister